Okay guys, let's unbox this wonderful ARCA Swiss plate by SmallRig. SmallRig always packages their equipment so beautifully. Look at this wonderful piece of kit. So with that, we have this beautifully engineered ARCA Swiss plate, which wonderfully have these spring-loaded locking tabs instead of having the regular traditional screws. This works perfectly for what we need. Drop in, over center. That could be one area of improvement. So I've had an opportunity to use the SmallRig quick release and plate now for a few weeks. Now before I give you my thoughts, I do want to clarify that SmallRig provided me this review sample free of charge. However, I am under no obligation to endorse this plate or this piece from SmallRig or any of their products. Simply, I am to give you my actual opinions, and that's all you're going to get from me. Now, into my thoughts. The quick release has actually been really nice to use in my day-to-day operations mounted on top of my 504 fluid head. Unfortunately, however, I have a few issues with it that I've found as I've used it over that time period. The first thing is, while I really love having the actual lever to lock down on the tripod versus the Manfrotto style screw mount, it really does not lock down as tight as I'd like it. Not that it doesn't hold the camera really sturdy, it's the fact that that lever itself, unfortunately, isn't that tight in the locked position. It's quite easy to actually snag it and unlock the lever because there is no lock to hold it in that position. So what I'd really love to see is either a much higher clamping force so that the lever itself is harder to release, or an actual lock to hold the lever in that place. Now, the one other area that I would really love to see is actually an over-center lock for the halfway point on the lever. This would allow the camera not to actually fall off the unit, but still allow it to slide. Unfortunately, in this position, the lever is very easy to either fully release or push towards tightening down. There is a flat spot there, but this doesn't actually retain the lever's position, and you can still very easily release the camera. Also in this position, the lever doesn't actually hold the plate in place completely, in the sense that you can still remove the plate from the quick release in the halfway point if you just angle it correctly. I'd like to see a little bit more of, I would assume, a ramp up between the fully released and halfway point, and thereby holding the plate a little bit tighter as you finally lock it down. This would also prevent the camera from easily falling out halfway. Now, I do have to commend SmallRig with their design of the plate itself, especially because there's one really huge advantage to this plate over every ARCA Swiss plate that I've used before. ARCA Swiss plates actually use normally a button head Allen at the end of each side of the plate. What this does is it actually allows for retention of the plate in sliding in the actual clamp without it falling out one side or another, being able to slide out the end. Now with SmallRigs, they've actually spring-loaded these pins instead that allow you to set it down on a perfectly flat surface without it toppling over. One area of criticism, though, I would make in this case is the plate, in my opinion, is far from long enough. I'd like to see this easily as long as my traditional Manfrotto video plate, and even longer ideally. I already wanted a Manfrotto plate that was longer than the traditional 5 inches and something more around 8 to 9, and this plate is actually shorter than the Manfrotto. What this means is the actual quick release unit has to be slid fairly far back on my fluid head to mount even my Sigma 18 to 35 millimeter lens, let alone when I actually want to use my larger 50 to 150 f2.8. I'd love to see this plate greatly increased in length because, in all honesty, no other ARCA Swiss plate matches this because of those spring-loaded pins. In every other case, the plate would simply slide out the side. Now, if those two areas are corrected, I give this product a huge thumbs up and a huge recommendation. But at this point, without that extra locking force, I would not recommend the product completely. Now, I'm aware that SmallRig is actually taking this plate and is redesigning it. There's a few areas that people have pointed out, like myself, in their reviews and use, that they can see they definitely could use a little upgrade. Now, by and large, this is a beautiful machined piece from SmallRig, just like a lot of their stuff. I have to say, no review samples required for me to tell you that I love their kit, and I have a lot of it. I love the aspect that it's like Lego. You can buy little pieces here and there and ultimately create a beautiful camera rig for a lot less money than if you invested in a lot of other manufacturers. Now, if you're interested in picking up some products from SmallRig, I will point you over to their website, smallrig.com or coollcd.com. So that's it for my review, guys. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you in the next video.